And a Fort Washington man is honored for his many accomplishments. His name is Herbert Jones, Jr., and his career took flight decades ago.
I originally learned to fly at Croom Airport.
The year was 1934. Herbert Jones, Jr. had taken his first flight at then Capitol Airport with Clarence Chamberlain, the second person to pilot a fixed-wing airplane across the Atlantic.
And my father took me up to the airport and spent, I think it was $2. And I took my first airplane ride with Clarence Chamberlain.
And you were hooked?
Yeah.
As a teenager,
Jones was honored yesterday at College Park Aviation Museum for his long and storied career, one that has secured his place in aviation history.
I've always liked airplanes, and I always had an interest in flying airplanes. And it was always a thrilling thing to me to be able to safely fly an airplane.
Here's a quick list of the things Jones has accomplished. He received his pilot's license in the early 1940s at Coffey School of Aeronautics in Chicago. He became a Tuskegee Airman, flying with the 332nd Fighter Group. Jones's dream was to fly when he returned home.
After the war, the opportunities for black pilots in the airlines was really limited. Really, at that time, there were no black pilots hired by any of the airlines.
Congratulations to you, sir, on the
Among
honors
those attending
that are
the
given.
event, many of his elder Tuskegee Airmen, like Walter Robinson.
You say you're 96?
Yeah.
I'm 97.
And there was Air Force fighter pilot Charles McGee, seen here at the left.
Let the young folks know you got to stick with it. I'm 98.
got my private pilot's license.
The Fort Washington resident would become a flight instructor and later co-owner of the former Columbia Air Center in Croom. It was the nation's first black-owned airfield. Jones also flew as a lieutenant colonel with the Civil Air Patrol.
And did a lot of search and rescue missions here in the United States here.
Then there was the Cloud Club.
The Cloud Club was a group of black airmen who decided they wanted to continue flying after the war, and they formed this group. And they were operating at an airport here in Maryland called Columbia Air Center.
I compete, fly aerobatic competition.
Doug Bird was one of his later students.
I'm doing loops, hammerhead stalls, stalling the airplane. I'm doing spins. I'm gaining 1,000 feet, losing 2,000 feet, and I mean, like that.
Jones taught more than 200 young people how to fly, but he still had a lot more altitude to gain. In 1972, he and his wife formed the International Air Association, one of the first black-owned airlines in the country.
And we began to do flights down to the Caribbean, Nassau, Freeport, and places like that.
With a fleet of 3 aircraft, Jones would later go on to form Cloud Club 2 Flight School with his wife. In 2007, he was among the Tuskegee Airmen who received the Congressional Gold Medal.
Well, because in the aviation industry at that time,
Jones no longer flies, but he still mentors younger pilots, and when he has free time, visits his local airport.
well, I just like to watch the guys fly and watch what they're doing, have conversations with them.